The stars looked different from here. Commander Jiwan stood on the bridge of the Earthship Horizon and watched the view screen with wonder. Her heart beat fast with excitement. This was it, the moment humanity had dreamed about for centuries. First contact with alien life. Behind her, the crew worked quietly. They checked their instruments. They prepared the messages. They made sure everything was perfect. This had to be perfect. Humanity had one chance to make a good first impression. Jiwan thought back to her training. She had spent years learning about diplomacy. She had studied every theory about alien contact. She had practiced peace talks in 100 different scenarios. But nothing prepared her for the real thing. Nothing could prepare anyone for this moment. The year was 2187. Humanity had finally cracked faster-than-light travel just 5 years ago. Since then, they had sent out exploration ships. They had searched the nearby stars. They had hoped to find others. And now, finally, they had. The alien ships appeared 3 days ago. They were beautiful. Sleek and silver, they moved through space like water. They were clearly advanced. Much more advanced than human ships. But that was okay. Jiwan had messages of peace ready. Humanity came in friendship, not as a threat. Dr. Hyun stood next to Jiwan. The scientist was nervous. She kept adjusting her glasses. She kept checking her tablet. On it were files about human biology, information about Earth, data about human culture, everything the aliens might want to know. Should we send it? Hyun asked. Her voice was soft. All our biological data? Our history? Everything? Jiwan nodded. Ah yes, complete transparency. We have nothing to hide. We want them to know we come in peace. We want them to understand us. Hyun hesitated. She looked at the data again. Human evolution, human wars, human violence. Human history was not always pretty. There had been so many wars, so much fighting, but there had also been peace, progress, art, science, love. They need to see all of it, Jiwan said, the good and the bad. If we hide our past, they will not trust us. Truth is the foundation of peace. Hyun pressed the button. The data began transmitting. Everything about humanity was now traveling through space to the alien ships. Their DNA sequences, their evolutionary path, their physical abilities, their history of conflict and cooperation. All of it. Jiwan opened the communication channel. She had practiced her speech 1,000 times. She spoke clearly into the microphone. Her voice would be translated into mathematical sequences, into light patterns, into radio waves. Every possible form of communication humanity knew. Greetings from humanity. We come from the third planet of the Sol system. We call it Earth. We are a young species. We have just learned to travel between the stars. We come in peace. We seek friendship. We seek understanding. We seek to join the community of intelligent life in this galaxy. We ask for nothing but the chance to know you. We offer our friendship and our knowledge. Please speak with us. The message went out. Then they waited. The crew was silent. Everyone watched the screen. The alien ships did not move. They did not respond. Minutes passed. Then hours. Back on Earth, people celebrated. News of the contact spread across the planet. Parties started in every major city. People danced in the streets. Children drew pictures of friendly aliens. Artists created sculptures. Musicians wrote songs. Humanity was not alone in the universe. The future looked bright, but on the horizon, Jiwan felt uneasy. Something was wrong. The aliens were taking too long to respond. Their ships had moved into a different formation. A formation that looked military. Far away, on the alien coalition's capital world, a meeting was happening. The coalition council sat in their great chamber. They had received the human data. They had analyzed it, and they were afraid. High Executor Vesh stood before the council. He was old, he was powerful, and he was terrified. In his hands he held a data crystal. It contained the human information. It contained their doom. Look at their evolution, Vesh said. His voice was sharp. They evolved as hunters, predators. They killed to survive. They competed with other species and drove them to extinction. They fought each other for thousands of years. War after war after war. Another council member spoke. But they also show cooperation, art, science. They have moved beyond their violent past. No, Vesh said. They have only paused. Look at their biology. High pain tolerance, incredible endurance, the ability to survive almost anywhere. They are pursuit predators. They run down their prey until it collapses. And now they have technology. Now they have weapons. Now they have starships. He pulled up an ancient text. The prophecy of the beast, it was old, thousands of years old. It spoke of a species that would come from the dark, a species that seemed weak at first, a species that asked for peace. But when threatened, this species would transform. They would become unstoppable. They would consume everything. These humans match the prophecy, Vesh said. Every detail. We must act now, before they spread, before they grow strong, before they become the monsters the prophecy warns about. Ambassador Krell stood up. He was younger. He believed in peace. This is insane. They are offering friendship. You want to start a war based on a prophecy? Based on fear? I want to survive, Vesh said coldly. And survival means eliminating threats before they grow. The humans are weak now. One planet, a few colonies, small ships. We can end this quickly, cleanly. It is mercy in a way. Better to die not knowing why than to become the monsters they might be. The council voted. Krell argued against it. He begged them to reconsider. But fear won. The vote passed. The coalition fleet was ordered to Earth. The orders were clear. Complete extermination. No survivors. No witnesses. No mercy. On the horizon, G1 finally got a response. The alien ships were moving. They were coming closer. Hope filled her chest. This was it. First contact. Real communication. Then the sensors screamed. The alien ships were powering weapons. Massive weapons. Weapons that could destroy planets. No, G1 whispered. No, we came in peace. She opened all channels. Emergency broadcast. Maximum power. Her voice shook as she spoke. Please. We mean you no harm. We ask for mercy. We ask for understanding. Please do not do this. We came in peace. We only wanted to meet you. To know you, please, mercy. We beg for mercy. The alien fleet did not respond. They did not slow down. They did not explain. They simply opened fire. The first beam hit Earth's moon. It vaporized instantly, gone in a flash of light. The second and third beams hit Earth's orbital stations. Thousands died in seconds. The fourth beam was headed for Earth itself. On Earth, the celebration stopped. Alarms went off across the planet. People looked up at the sky. They saw the flashes of light. They saw their moon disappear. They saw death coming from the stars. Humanity had asked for mercy. They had extended the olive branch of peace. They had opened their hearts and their homes. They had shared everything about themselves in trust and hope. And the answer was fire from the sky. The answer was death without explanation. The answer was genocide without warning. Jiwan watched her home planet begin to burn. She watched cities vanish in nuclear fire. She watched oceans boil. She watched everything she loved turn to ash. Her last transmission was not a plea for mercy. Not anymore. Mercy had been asked. Mercy had been denied. Now something else grew in her heart. Something dark and cold and patient. We will remember this, she said quietly. We will survive. And we will remember. The alien coalition had feared what humans might become. They had seen the potential for monsters. So they struck first. They tried to eliminate the threat. But in doing so, they made a terrible mistake. They did not kill the monster that might have been. They created the monster that would be. And that monster would remember. That monster would hunt. That monster would have no mercy to give. Captain Minho watched from the window of the orbital defense station. Below him, Seoul was burning. The city where he grew up. The city where his wife and children lived. It was burning. The alien beam hit the center of the city. For a moment, everything turned white. When the light faded, there was nothing left. Just a crater. A hole in the ground where millions of people used to live. Where his family used to live. Minho did not cry. He could not cry. His mind went blank. Empty. The part of him that could feel things just stopped working. All that remained was a cold, clear thought. They did this. They will pay, all across Earth, the same scene repeated. Tokyo vanished. New York burned. London was dust. Moscow was gone. Every major city. Every population center. The aliens were thorough. They were efficient. They showed no hesitation and no mercy. Lieutenant Somin was at the training base when the attack started. She was young, just 23 years old. She had joined the Space Force because she loved flying. She dreamed of exploring the stars. She never expected war. The base alarms went off. At first she thought it was a drill. Then she saw the explosions on the horizon. Then she saw the orbital strikes. Then she understood. This was real. This was death. Her instructor shouted orders. "Get to the fighters. Now, this is not a drill. Move!" Salman ran. Around her, the base was chaos. People were running everywhere. Some were crying. Some were frozen in shock. She kept running. She reached the hangar. The prototype fighters were there. New models. Experimental. She jumped into one. The fighter's engines roared to life. She launched without clearance. Without a flight plan. Without knowing where to go. She just knew she had to get away. Had to survive. Behind her, the base exploded. A direct hit from orbit. Everyone still on the ground died instantly. Dr. Hyun was in her research lab when it happened. She was studying the alien data they received. She was so excited. So hopeful. She was making notes about potential communication methods, about biological compatibility, about the possibilities of friendship between species. Then the bombs fell. Her lab was underground, so she survived the initial blast. But she heard the explosions. She felt the ground shake. She saw the emergency alerts on her computer. Attack, invasion, mass casualties. She pulled up the external cameras. The surface was on fire. Everything was burning. Her life's work. Her dreams of peaceful contact. Her hope for the future. All of it was ashes now. Hyun looked at her research. All her notes about alien biology. All her careful analysis. She had studied them to understand them. To communicate with them. To build bridges between species. Now she understood something else. She knew their weaknesses. She knew what would hurt them. She knew how to kill them. Her hands shook as she started deleting her peaceful research. She opened new files. New projects, weapons, biological weapons. If they wanted death, she would give them death. General Daewon was at the military command center deep underground. He watched the reports come in. City after city, base after base, station after station. All destroyed. The numbers were impossible. 8 billion people on Earth. In the first 3 hours, 5 billion were dead. His staff looked at him for orders. For leadership, for hope. He had none to give. How do you fight this? How do you survive this? The enemy had ships that could destroy planets. They had weapons beyond anything humanity had ever imagined. They had numbers. They had technology. They had everything. But Daewon was old. He had lived through smaller wars. He had seen humanity at its worst. And he knew one thing. Humans were survivors. Humans adapted. Humans endured. If even a few survived, they could rebuild. They could fight back. They could win. Evacuate everyone you can to the deep bunkers, he ordered. Get people to the moon bases. The Mars colony. The asteroid station. Anyone who can get off Earth, send them. We need to survive. At any cost. Commander Jiwon's diplomatic ship was torn apart by alien fire. She barely made it to an escape pod. As she drifted in space, she watched Earth die. She watched the planet that gave birth to humanity become a grave. She had asked for mercy. She had begged for peace. She had offered friendship. And this was the answer: complete extermination. No explanation. No warning. No chance. A rescue ship found her pod 3 days later. She was barely alive, dehydrated, in shock. But something in her eyes had changed. The diplomats who pulled her from the pod stepped back when they saw her face. She looked different. Harder. Colder. Dangerous. The aliens landed ground forces after the orbital bombardment. They wanted to make sure. To finish the job. To eliminate every last human. They sent soldiers into the ruins of cities. They searched the bunkers. They hunted survivors, but Earth was a big planet. The humans had built deep. They had prepared for nuclear war. For asteroid impacts. For disasters. The bunker networks went miles underground. Thousands of chambers. Millions of hiding places. The aliens searched for weeks. They found some survivors. Those were killed immediately. But they could not find them all. They did not understand how deep the bunkers went. How complex the networks were. How determined humans were to survive. High Executor Vesh stood on his command ship and watched the reports. Earth's surface was secure. 98% of humans were confirmed dead. The remaining 2% were scattered, hiding, powerless. It is done, he said with satisfaction. The threat is eliminated. We have saved the galaxy from the monsters they would have become. Ambassador Krell stood behind him, His face was sick, disgusted. We just committed genocide. We killed billions of innocent beings. How is this saving anyone? They were not innocent, Vesh said. They were potential threats. Better to stop them now than face them later when they are strong. You have no proof they would have been threats, Krell argued. They came in peace. They offered friendship. We destroyed them for what they might have been, not for what they were. Vesh turned to face him. The prophecy was clear, and their biology confirmed it. They were predators, killers. It was only a matter of time. Then we have just ensured the prophecy comes true, Krell said quietly. We attacked them without cause. We tried to exterminate them. If any survive, what do you think they will become? What do you think we just created? Vesh dismissed him. No one survives. We were thorough. This is over. But Vesh was wrong. In the darkness below Earth's surface, in hidden bases on distant moons, in scattered colonies across the solar system, humans survived. Not many, maybe 200 million. From 8 billion to 200 million. Most of humanity was gone. But those who remained remembered. Every single one of them had lost someone. Family, friends, children, parents, lovers, everyone had lost something. Everyone had a reason to hate. In a deep bunker, the survivors gathered. Military, scientists, civilians. They looked at each other with empty eyes that had seen too much death. Too much pain. Too much loss. Commander Jiwan stood before them. Her diplomatic uniform was torn and bloody. But she wore it like armor now. She spoke in a voice that was calm and cold and absolutely certain. They wanted to kill us because they feared what we might become. They saw potential monsters, so they tried to destroy us first. They failed. We survived. And now we will show them that their fear was justified. We will become exactly what they were afraid of. We will become the monsters they tried to prevent. The survivors did not cheer. They did not celebrate. They just nodded, cold and quiet and absolutely committed. Mercy had been asked. Vengeance would be given. Earth's fall was complete. But from the ashes, something new was being born. Something dark. Something patient. Something unstoppable. The beasts were waking up. And soon they would hunt. 6 months after the attack, the survivors met in the largest underground facility. It was deep beneath what used to be the Rocky Mountains. The room was cold. The lights were dim. But the faces were determined. General Daewon stood at the front. He looked older now. The stress had aged him years in just months. But his voice was strong. His purpose was clear. We have 200 million survivors, he said. 200 million out of 8 billion. Every single person in this room has lost someone. Many of you have lost everyone. I understand your pain. I feel it too. But we cannot drown in grief. We must turn that pain into something else. Into strength. Into purpose. Into vengeance. He activated a hologram. It showed Earth from space. The planet was gray now. The oceans were darker. The green lands were brown, dead. But there were also lights. Small lights. Hidden bases. Survivor camps. Humanity clinging to life. Operation Rebirth begins today, Daewon continued. Every civilian becomes a soldier. Every scientist becomes a weapons designer. Every resource goes to the war effort. We will rebuild. But not as we were. We will rebuild as something new. Something designed for one purpose only. Survival and revenge. Dr. Hyun was there. She stood and spoke. Her voice was different now, colder. I have completed the first generation of biological weapons. They target the specific physiology of each alien species. Their own biology will destroy them from the inside. It will be painful. It will be slow. It will be what they deserve. Some people in the room looked uncomfortable. This was not who humans were supposed to be. They were supposed to be peaceful, scientific, ethical. But those values belonged to a different humanity. A humanity that no longer existed. Commander Jiwan spoke next. She had been appointed Supreme War Coordinator. She had total authority over all human military operations. We will use every tactic, every weapon, every advantage. We will show no mercy because no mercy was shown to us. We will not take prisoners. We will not accept surrender. We will eliminate them completely. Every last one. Captain Minho stepped forward. He had formed a new unit. The Black Fleet. Special operations soldiers with no rules of engagement. No limits, no conscience. My team is ready, he said. His voice was flat, empty. We will hit their supply lines. They're outposts. They're civilian centers. We will make them afraid to sleep. Afraid to travel. Afraid to exist. Lieutenant Soman was there too. She had survived and found her way to the hidden bases. She was training new pilots now, teaching them tactics that would have been considered war crimes before. We do not fight fair, she told her students. We fight to win. We use ambush, deception, terror, whatever works. The transformation happened quickly. Factories that once made consumer goods now made weapons. Labs that studied medicine now studied poisons. Children who should have been in school learned how to use rifles. Old people who should have been retiring learned how to build bombs. Every aspect of human culture changed. Art became propaganda. Music became war songs. Stories became tales of vengeance. The whole species bent toward one goal: destroy the aliens. Make them pay. Make them suffer. The first strike came 3 months later. Captain Minho led the operation personally. The target was an alien outpost on the edge of the solar system. Small, lightly defended. Perfect for a test. The Black Fleet ships approached silently. They used captured alien technology, stolen stealth systems. The aliens at the outpost never saw them coming. They never had a chance. Minho's team boarded the station. They moved through the corridors like shadows. Silent, efficient, deadly. They killed the aliens quickly at first. But then they slowed down. They wanted the aliens to suffer. They wanted them to know fear. They released Dr. Hyun's biological weapon. It spread through the station's air system. The aliens started to get sick. Their bodies turned against them. They died slowly, painfully. The humans watched. They felt nothing. No guilt, no remorse, only satisfaction. Before leaving, Minho recorded a message. He broadcast it on all alien frequencies. This is humanity. You tried to kill us. You failed. Now we are coming for you. Run, hide. It will not matter. We will find you. We will kill you. All of you. The next strike was bigger. Lieutenant Soman led a squadron against an alien supply convoy. 20 alien ships. Heavily armed. They thought they were safe. They were wrong. Soman's fighters hit them from multiple directions. They used the darkness of space. The debris fields. Every advantage. The alien ships tried to fight back. But human tactics were different. Unpredictable, vicious. When one alien ship tried to surrender, Soman destroyed it anyway. No mercy, no prisoners. Those were the new rules. The rules the aliens had taught them. The strikes continued. Week after week. Month after month. Small attacks. Hit and run. Always unexpected. Always brutal. The aliens started to realize something was wrong. The humans were not gone. They were not defeated. They were hunting. On the coalition capital world, High Executor Vesh received the reports. At first he dismissed them. Small losses. Acceptable casualties. The humans were just dying slowly instead of all at once, but the reports kept coming, and they got worse. Entire outposts going silent. Supply lines being cut. Soldiers disappearing. And always that same message. Humanity is coming. Ambassador Krell tried to warn him. We made a mistake. We attacked them without cause. Now they are becoming exactly what we feared. We created this. We need to stop before it is too late. It is not too late, Vesh insisted. We will send more forces. We will finish what we started. We will hunt them down and eliminate every last one. You still do not understand, Krell said. They are not the prey anymore. We are. They are the hunters now, and they will not stop until we are all dead. On Earth, in the deep bunkers, humanity prepared for the next phase. They were ready to take the fight beyond the solar system. Ready to invade alien space, ready to make the whole galaxy bleed. Dr. Hyun developed new weapons. Worse weapons. She no longer hesitated. She no longer questioned. She just created death in new and terrible forms. Captain Minho trained more soldiers. His Black Fleet grew larger, more brutal, more efficient. They studied the aliens, learned their weaknesses. Prepared to exploit every advantage, Lieutenant Somin became an ace. Her kill count grew. She kept track of every alien ship she destroyed, every alien life she ended. The numbers gave her satisfaction. They were not enough. They would never be enough. But they were a start. General Daewon watched humanity transform. Part of him was proud. They had survived. They had adapted. They had become strong. But another part of him was afraid. Afraid of what they were becoming. Afraid that they might win the war but lose their souls. Commander Jiwon felt no such doubts. She had asked for mercy once. She had been naive, Foolish. She would never make that mistake again. The aliens had taught her an important lesson. The strong survive, the weak die. Mercy is weakness, and humanity would never be weak again. 6 months after the attack, humanity was transformed. They were no longer explorers, no longer scientists, no longer dreamers. They were soldiers, killers, monsters. Exactly what the aliens had feared. The Coalition had tried to prevent humanity from becoming a threat. Instead, they had guaranteed it. They had killed 8 billion people. They had destroyed Earth. They had taken everything humans loved. And now, from the ashes of Earth, the beasts were born. Hungry, patient, relentless. The hunt was just beginning, and the hunters would show no mercy, because mercy was something humans no longer understood, something they no longer believed in, something that had died with 8 billion people on a planet that used to be called home. 1 year after Earth fell, humanity was ready. The solar system was clear of alien forces. Every Coalition outpost was destroyed. Every alien soldier was dead. Now it was time to take the war to them. Commander Jiwon stood in the war room. Around her, holographic displays showed the nearby star systems. Red dots marked Coalition territory. There were so many red dots. Hundreds of worlds, thousands of stations, millions of aliens. We cannot fight them all at once, General Daewon said. We are still outnumbered, outgunned. We do not need to fight fair, Jiwon replied. We fight smart. We hit their supply lines, their communication hubs, their leaders. We make them afraid. We make them hurt. We make them regret ever hearing about Earth. The strategy was simple but effective. Humanity would not try to hold territory. They would not try to occupy planets. They would just destroy, kill, move on. Like a plague spreading through the galaxy, Captain Minho's Black Fleet led the way. They jumped into Coalition space without warning. Their first target was a major supply depot. The aliens had no idea they were coming. The base had minimal defenses. Why would they need more? Earth was destroyed. The threat was eliminated. The Black Fleet arrived at midnight local time. They disabled the defenses silently. Then they landed troops. Minho led them personally. They moved through the base like death itself. Silent, unstoppable. Every alien they found died quickly. But Minho was not satisfied with quick deaths. Not anymore. He captured several aliens alive. He made them watch as he destroyed their base, as he killed their friends, as he took everything from them. Just as they had taken everything from him, before leaving he recorded their screams. He broadcast it across all Coalition channels. A message. A warning. A promise. This is what happens now. This is what you created. This is what you deserve. Lieutenant Sumin commanded her own battle group now. She had proven herself again and again. Her tactics were studied by every human pilot. Her methods were brutal but effective. She led an attack on a Coalition convoy near Proxima Centauri. The convoy had escorts, warships. They thought they were safe. Salman taught them otherwise. Her fighters came from behind a small moon. They used the gravity to slingshot themselves at incredible speed. The aliens never saw them until it was too late. Salman's squadron tore through them like bullets through paper. When one escort tried to retreat, she chased it down. She could have destroyed it with missiles. Instead, she got close, personal. She wanted them to see her face. To know a human was killing them. To understand their mistake, the battles continued. Week after week, human forces struck deeper into Coalition territory. They destroyed supply lines, communication networks, research stations. Nothing was off limits. Nothing was sacred. Dr. Hyun developed something new, a nanoplague. It was designed specifically for each alien species in the Coalition. It would spread through their populations, slow, painful, unstoppable. Some humans objected. This was too far, they said. This was genocide. This made humans no better than the aliens. Hyun looked at them with cold eyes. They started the genocide. We are just finishing it. They wanted to kill all of us. Now we will kill all of them. It is justice. The plague was deployed on 3 border worlds, colony planets with large civilian populations. The plague spread quickly. Within weeks, millions were sick. Within months, millions were dead. The Coalition panicked. Commander Jiwon used the panic. She broadcast messages to the Coalition populations. She showed them footage of Earth burning. She showed them what the Coalition did. She told them why humanity was doing this. Your leaders tried to exterminate us, her message said. They attacked without warning, without mercy. They killed 8 billion innocent people. Now you will understand what that feels like. Now you will know the fear we knew, the loss we experienced, the rage we carry. The psychological warfare worked. Coalition citizens started to question their leaders. Why did we attack Earth? What did they do to us? Why are we being punished for something we did not know about? Executor Vesh tried to maintain control. He ordered more troops to the front lines. He increased patrols. He fortified key positions. But it was not enough. Humanity was everywhere and nowhere. They struck without pattern, without warning, without mercy. The first major fleet battle happened at Arcturus. The coalition assembled a large force, 200 warships. They would crush the human raiders once and for all, show them that the coalition was still strong. The human fleet that met them was smaller, just 50 ships. The aliens thought it would be an easy victory. They were wrong. Human ships were different now, built from salvaged alien technology, enhanced with human innovation. They were faster, more maneuverable, more deadly, and the humans fought differently. The aliens fought in formation, organized, disciplined, predictable. The humans fought like a pack of wolves, coordinated but fluid. They targeted weak points. They used feints and traps. They sacrificed damaged ships to take down bigger targets. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it was over, 150 alien ships were destroyed. The rest retreated. Human losses were heavy. 20 ships gone. But they had won. Against overwhelming odds, they had won. News of the victory spread through human space. People celebrated. Not with joy, but with grim satisfaction. They were winning. Slowly, painfully, but winning. Captain Minho led a boarding action on a coalition space station. The station was important. It coordinated defense for an entire sector. Taking it would cripple coalition operations. His team breached the station hull. They fought through the corridors. The aliens fought back hard. They knew how important the station was, but they could not stop the humans. Nothing could stop the humans. When the station was secure, Minho made a choice. He could have just destroyed it. But he wanted to send a message. He executed every alien on the station, every single one, military and civilian, young and old, no exceptions. Some of his own soldiers protested. This was too much. This was murder. Minho looked at them without emotion. They would have done the same to us. They tried to do the same to us. This is war. This is justice. If you cannot handle it, leave. No one left. They understood. They had all lost people. They all wanted revenge. They would do what needed to be done. Coalition territory began to shrink. World after world fell to human attacks. Not occupation, just destruction. Humans did not want to rule these places. They just wanted them gone. Ambassador Krell watched his civilization crumble. He had opposed the attack on Earth. He had warned them. Now he was proven right. But there was no satisfaction in it. Only horror. Only regret. He tried to contact humanity, to negotiate, to beg for peace. His messages went unanswered. Humanity was not interested in peace. Not anymore. They had asked for peace once. They had been answered with fire. Finally, after months of trying, Krell got through to Commander Jiwon. His face appeared on her screen. He looked old, tired, defeated. "Please," he said. "This must stop. We surrender. The coalition surrenders. We will give you anything. Just stop the killing." Jiwon looked at him. Her face showed nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just cold certainty. "We asked for mercy once," she said. "Your people answered with genocide. You taught us that mercy is weakness, that peace is a lie, that the only way to survive is to destroy your enemies completely. Thank you for that lesson. We learned it well. But we were wrong," Krell said desperately. "We made a mistake. Please do not become what we feared. Do not become monsters." "Too late," Jiwon said. "You created the monsters. Now you will face them. There will be no surrender. No mercy, no peace. Only vengeance. You wanted to kill all of us. We will return the favor." She ended the transmission. Krell sat in silence. He had failed. Everything he feared had come true. The humans were monsters now. And it was the coalition's fault. They had created this nightmare. The hunt continued. Humanity pushed deeper into coalition space. They left nothing but death behind them. The galaxy watched in horror. A new power had emerged. A dark power. a power that knew no mercy. The beasts were hunting, and they would not stop until every last alien was dead. Mercy had been asked. Vengeance was being given, and nothing could stop it now. 2 years after the attack on Earth, the Coalition was dying. Their territory had shrunk by half. Their military was broken. Their populations were terrified. And still humanity came, relentless, unstoppable, merciless. The Coalition capital world was the last major stronghold. High Executor Vesh had retreated there. He had gathered the remains of the Coalition fleet. Nearly 1,000 ships, the strongest defenses they could build. He would make his final stand here. Human forces surrounded the planet. Their fleet had grown. Ships built from alien technology and human innovation. They had numbers now. They had weapons. They had experience. And they had hate. So much hate. Commander Jiwan stood on the bridge of the flagship. It was called Vengeance. A fitting name. She looked at the planet below. Billions of aliens lived there. Most were civilians. Innocent people who had nothing to do with Earth's destruction. She felt nothing for them. No sympathy, no guilt. They were aliens. They were the enemy. They had to die. All of them. Launch the attack, she ordered. The human fleet moved forward. The alien defenses opened fire. Space lit up with weapons fire. Ships exploded on both sides. But the humans kept coming. They had learned that victory required sacrifice. They were willing to pay any price. Captain Minho led the boarding teams. His target was the planetary defense grid. If they could take it down, the planet would be helpless. His Black Fleet ships punched through the orbital defenses. They took heavy casualties, but they made it through. The defense station was massive. Thousands of aliens defended it. But Minho's team had done this before. Many times. They knew how to breach, how to fight in corridors, how to kill efficiently. The battle inside the station was brutal. Hand-to-hand combat in some sections. The aliens fought desperately. This was their last chance. Their final hope. If this station fell, their world fell. Minho moved through the station like a machine. He killed without thinking, without feeling. He had become exactly what he needed to be. A weapon, a monster. The thing the aliens feared most. The defense grid fell. The planet's shields dropped. The human fleet moved in. They began orbital bombardment. Just like the aliens had done to Earth. Just like they had killed billions of innocent humans. Lieutenant Somin led fighter squadrons through the chaos. She had stopped counting her kills long ago. The numbers did not matter anymore. Only the mission mattered. Only the victory mattered. Only the revenge mattered. Her fighters destroyed evacuation ships. Civilian transports trying to escape. She shot them down without hesitation. No escape, no survivors. Those were her orders. Those were her beliefs now. On the planet's surface, panic spread. The aliens ran, they hid. They prayed to their gods. But nothing could save them. The bombardment continued. City after city burned. Millions died every hour. Dr. Hyun released her final weapon. The ultimate plague. It would kill every coalition species. Every last one. It spread through the atmosphere. Through the water. Through everything. There was no cure. No defense. Only death. She watched the deployment from her lab ship. She felt nothing. No horror at what she had done. No regret. Just a cold satisfaction. This was justice. This was what they deserved. High Executor Vesh was captured alive. Captain Minho brought him before Commander Jiwan. The old alien leader looked broken. Defeated, he had failed his people. Failed to protect them. Failed to stop the monsters he created. Why? He asked. His voice was weak. You have won. You have destroyed us. Why continue? Why kill everyone? Jiwan looked at him. You asked us that same question once. We came in peace. We offered friendship. You answered with genocide. Now you ask why? You taught us why. You taught us that enemies must be eliminated completely, that mercy is weakness, that survival requires ruthlessness. We are just following your example. We were wrong, Vesh said. We made a terrible mistake. But you do not have to repeat it. You can be better than us. You can show mercy. We could, Jiwan agreed. But we will not. You destroyed that possibility when you destroyed Earth. You killed the humans who believed in mercy, who believed in peace. Only the monsters survived, and monsters do not show mercy. Vesh was executed publicly. broadcast across all surviving coalition worlds. A message, a warning, a promise. This is what happens to those who attack humanity. Complete destruction. Total annihilation. No mercy. The coalition capital world burned for weeks. By the time it was over, nothing lived. Not a single alien survived. The plague had killed them all. Billions dead. An entire world erased. General Daewon watched from his command ship. He felt sick. They had won. They had avenged Earth, but at what cost? What had they become? He looked at the young soldiers around him. They celebrated the victory. They felt no guilt, no horror. This was normal to them now. They had grown up in war. They knew nothing else. Peace was a concept from history books. Mercy was weakness. Compassion was foolish. They were efficient killers. Perfect monsters. And they were proud of it. The remaining coalition worlds surrendered. They had no choice. Their military was gone. Their leaders were dead. Their hope was crushed. They broadcast messages of complete surrender, total submission. They would do anything humanity demanded. Just please stop the killing. But humanity did not stop. They had momentum now, power, and they wanted to make sure this never happened again. They occupied former coalition worlds. They stripped them of weapons, of industry, of anything that could be used against humans. Some aliens were put to work. Forced labor, building human ships, mining resources, serving their conquerors. Others were simply eliminated. Entire species judged too dangerous to exist. They were exterminated systematically. The galaxy watched in horror. Other civilizations that had remained neutral saw what humans had become. They saw the ruthlessness, the brutality, the complete lack of mercy. They were terrified. Some tried to reach out to humanity, to establish diplomatic relations, to show they were not threats. But humanity was not interested in friendship. Not anymore. They remembered what happened the last time they offered peace. Ambassador Krell survived. He was one of the few. He had opposed the attack on Earth. Humans spared him because of that, but they made him watch, made him witness what his civilization had created. He met with Commander G1 one final time. "You have become what we feared," he said. "The prophecy came true, not because of who you were, but because of what we made you." "Yes," G1 said. "You created us. You turned peaceful explorers into monsters. You destroyed the humans who believed in mercy. Now you live with the consequences. Your civilization is gone. Your people are dead or enslaved. And it is all because of fear. Because you attacked first. Because you showed no mercy. What happens now?" Krell asked. "Will humanity conquer the galaxy? Will you become the very thing you hated?" G1 was quiet for a moment. "I do not know. We won the war. We avenged Earth. But I look at what we have become and I wonder, can we ever go back? Can monsters become human again? Or are we like this forever?" That question haunted her. It haunted General Daewon. It haunted anyone who remembered the old humanity. The humanity that dreamed of peace, of exploration, of friendship among the stars. But Captain Minho felt no doubts. Neither did Lieutenant Salmon, neither did Dr. Hyun. They had done what was necessary. They had survived. They had won. The price was worth it. The war was over. The coalition was destroyed. Humanity stood alone as the dominant power in their region of space. They had asked for mercy. They had been given genocide. So they became monsters. They delivered vengeance, complete and terrible. The galaxy would never forget. Humanity had proven what they were capable of. They had shown that when pushed to the edge, they would not just fight back. They would destroy everything. They would show no mercy. They would become the very nightmare their enemies feared. And now, with the war over, humanity faced a new question. One that had no easy answer. They had won as monsters. Could they live as humans? Would they even try? Or was this what they were now? Forever changed. Forever scarred. Forever the beast that rose from Earth's ashes. 3 years after Earth fell, the war was over. Humanity had won. The coalition was destroyed. Former enemy worlds were occupied or abandoned. The galaxy knew fear when they heard the word human, but in the quiet after victory, something unexpected happened. Humanity looked at itself, and it did not like what it saw. General Daewon called a meeting. All the major leaders, Commander G1, Captain Minho, Lieutenant Soman, Dr. Hyun, and many others, they gathered in a rebuilt facility on Mars. Earth was still dead. still uninhabitable. A monument to what was lost. We need to talk about what we have become, Daewon said. His voice was heavy, tired. The war is over. We won, but at what cost? We committed acts that would have horrified us 4 years ago. We became the very thing the aliens feared. The question is, do we stay this way? Captain Minho stood up. His face was hard. We did what we had to do. We survived, we won. There is nothing to discuss. We are strong now, feared. That is good. That keeps us safe. Safe from what? Daewon asked. The coalition is gone. The threat is eliminated. But we continue to act like we are at war. We occupy worlds. We enslave populations. We kill anyone who might be a future threat. When does it end? It never ends, Minho said. That is the lesson Earth taught us. Show weakness and you die. Show mercy and you die. We can never be weak again, never. Commander G1 spoke quietly. He is right about one thing. We cannot go back to who we were. That humanity is dead. But maybe we can find a new way. Something between the peaceful fools we were and the monsters we became. Dr. Hyun had been quiet. Now she spoke. Her voice shook. I created weapons that killed billions. Innocent beings, children, elderly, people who never hurt anyone. I did that. I cannot take it back. I cannot undo it. But I can refuse to make more. I destroyed my research, all of it. No more weapons from me. That is treason, Minho said coldly. Those weapons keep us safe, keep us strong. No, Hyun said. Those weapons make us into something worse than our enemies. The aliens attacked us out of fear. We proved them right. We became exactly what they were afraid of. If we continue this way, we become the villains of the galaxy. Forever. The argument continued for hours. Some agreed with Minho. Strength was everything. Never show weakness. Never trust anyone. Keep weapons ready. Stay feared. Stay powerful. Others agreed with Daewon and Hyun. The war was over. They had to find a new way. Had to rebuild not just their civilization but their souls. Had to remember what it meant to be human. Lieutenant Somin sat quietly. She listened to both sides. She thought about her own life. She had killed thousands, maybe tens of thousands. She did not know. Did not want to know. She had been good at it. Efficient, the perfect killer. But now in peacetime she felt empty. Lost. What was she without the war? What was she without enemies to kill? She realized she did not know how to be anything else. The war had made her into a weapon, and weapons had no place in peace. I do not know if I can change, she said quietly. Everyone stopped arguing. Looked at her. I was 23 when the war started. I am 26 now. 3 years, but it feels like a lifetime. I do not remember how to be normal. How to be human. I only know how to fight. How to kill. Her words hung in the air. She was not alone. Most of the survivors were like her. Broken by war. Changed by violence. They had survived, but at what cost? General Daewon made a proposal. We should face justice. Not alien justice, our own. We should hold trials. Examine what we did. Decide as a species what was necessary and what was excessive. Accept responsibility for our actions. You want to put us on trial? Minho asked. His voice was dangerous. We saved humanity. We won the war. And you want to judge us? Yes, Daewon said. Because if we do not, we prove the aliens were right. We prove we are just monsters, beasts. If we want to be human again, we must face what we did. Accept the consequences. Show that we are more than just killers. The proposal was put to a vote. The human population was split. Some wanted accountability, wanted to move forward with honesty about the past. Others wanted to forget, to move on, to stay strong and feared and powerful. Captain Minho saw the way the vote was going. He saw that the reformists might win. He could not allow that. Humanity needed to stay strong, needed to stay ruthless. He gathered his loyal followers. The hardliners, the ones who believed mercy was weakness. In the middle of the night, they made their move. A military coup. They seized control of key facilities, took control of weapons, took control of the fleet. They sent a message. Humanity would not weaken itself with guilt and trials. Humanity would stay strong, stay feared. Stay monsters. General Daewon was arrested. Dr. Hyun was detained. Others who supported reform were imprisoned. Captain Minho declared martial law. He would lead humanity now. Keep them strong. Keep them safe. even if it meant ruling by force, but he had miscalculated. He assumed most of the military would support him. Many did, but not all. Commander G1 refused to accept the coup. She had her own loyal forces, ships, soldiers, people who believed humanity needed to change. She broadcast a message to all human territories. Captain Minho has betrayed everything we fought for. We did not survive just to become tyrants. We did not endure just to live in fear of our own leaders. We fought for survival, for the right to exist, for freedom. I will not let one man take that away. Humanity split. Some supported Minho. Others supported G1. Ships faced each other in space. Soldiers aimed weapons at each other. After 3 years of fighting aliens, humans were about to fight each other. Lieutenant Soman found herself in the middle. Her squadron was divided. Some wanted to support Minho. Others wanted to support G1. They looked to her for leadership, for direction. She thought about everything she had done, everyone she had killed. She had followed orders, done her duty, been a good soldier. But she had also lost herself, become something she did not recognize. I am with Commander G1, she said finally. We need to find a new way. Captain Minho is right that we cannot be weak, but he is wrong that we must be monsters forever. There has to be something in between. We have to try. Her decision influenced others. More squadrons joined G1, more ships, more soldiers. The tide was turning. But Minho was not done. He had weapons. He had loyal followers. And he was willing to use force. The confrontation came at Mars. Both fleets gathered there, ready to fight, ready to kill, humans against humans, after everything they had been through, after all they had survived. It had come to this. Commander G1 sent one final message to Captain Minho. Stand down, please, we have killed enough. Let us not kill each other. Let us find another way. Minho's response was cold. You are weak. You will get us all killed. I am doing what is necessary. What I have always done. Protecting humanity, even from itself. No, G1 said. You are protecting your vision of humanity. A humanity that only knows violence, only knows fear, only knows hate. That is not the humanity I want to save. The battle was about to begin. Humanity stood on the edge. Would they destroy themselves? Would the monsters turn on each other? Would they prove that the aliens were right all along? The answer would come soon. One way or another, humanity's future would be decided. Not by aliens, not by prophecy, but by their own choice, by their own hands. They could choose to remain monsters, or they could choose to find their humanity again. The moment of decision had arrived. The two fleets faced each other above Mars. Human ships aimed at human ships. Brothers and sisters who had fought together now prepared to fight each other. The silence before battle was heavy, terrible. This was the moment that would define humanity's future. Captain Minho stood on his command ship. His face showed no doubt, no hesitation. He believed he was right, believed he was protecting humanity. They needed strength. They needed fear. They needed to stay monsters. It was the only way to survive. Commander G1 stood on her ship. She felt tired, so tired, but she could not back down. Minho was wrong. Humanity could not live like this forever. Afraid, violent, hated. They had to find another way, even if it was harder, even if it was dangerous. Lieutenant Soman sat in her fighter, her hands on the controls, ready to fly, ready to fight. But her heart was heavy. She had killed so many aliens, celebrated every victory, every death. Now she might have to kill humans, her own people. The thought made her sick. She opened a channel, broadcast to both fleets. Her voice shook as she spoke. I have killed thousands. Maybe more. I stopped counting. I was good at it. Proud of it. I thought I was protecting humanity. Being strong. Being a warrior. But now I realize something. I was just being a monster. A tool, a weapon. Is that all we are? Is that all we will ever be? Her words reached every ship. Every soldier. People listened. Some were moved. Others were angry. But everyone heard her. The aliens feared us, Soman continued. They attacked us because of that fear. We had done nothing to them. We just existed, and they tried to kill us all. We survived. We fought back, we won. But somewhere along the way, we stopped being the victims. We became the monsters. We did to them what they did to us, and worse. That is war, someone responded. That is survival. Maybe, Soman said. But the war is over. What now? Do we keep being monsters? Do we keep killing? When does it end? When do we get to be human again? Captain Minho cut in. We do not get to be human again. That option died with Earth. We are what we are now. Survivors, warriors, predators. Accept it. Embrace it. It is what keeps us alive. No, Commander G1 said. You are wrong. We can choose. We always have a choice. We chose to become monsters when they attacked us. We can choose to become human again. It will be hard. It will take time. But we can do it, if we try. And if another threat appears? Minho asked. If another species attacks us? What then? Will your humanity save you? Will your mercy protect you? No, G1 admitted. But we will remember how to fight. We will not forget. We cannot forget. But we do not have to live as warriors every day. We do not have to be afraid every moment. We can try to build something better. Something worth fighting for. The fleets waited. Weapons charged. Fighters ready. One word and the battle would begin. Humans killing humans. After everything. After all they had survived. It would end like this. Then something unexpected happened. Soldiers started putting down their weapons. Pilots powered down their fighters. One by one. Then in groups. Then in waves. They had fought for 3 years. They had killed so many. They were tired. So tired of death. Captain Minho saw his support crumbling, saw his forces standing down. He could order them to fight, could threaten them. But he realized the truth. They were done. Done with war. Done with killing. Done with being monsters. He stood alone on his bridge. His officers had left. His crew had abandoned their posts. He had lost. Not because he was wrong about strength. Not because he was wrong about survival. But because humanity was ready to try something else. Something he could not give them. Hope Minho surrendered. He was arrested, taken into custody. He would face trial for the coup, for trying to take control. He did not resist. What was the point? Humanity had made its choice. General Daewon was released. Dr. Hyun was freed. The reformists took control. They established a new government. New rules, new laws. They created a tribunal, a court to examine what humanity had done during the war. Commander Jiwon was the first to face the tribunal. She stood before them and accepted responsibility for her orders. For the attacks on civilians, for the biological weapons, for the extermination campaigns. She did not make excuses. Did not claim she had no choice. I ordered these actions, she said. I believed they were necessary. I believed we had to be ruthless to survive. I may have been right, but that does not make it just. It does not make it moral. I accept judgment for what I did. She was sentenced to 20 years, time to be served helping rebuild former coalition worlds. Not as a conqueror. As a worker. As a teacher. As someone who would help heal the damage she had caused. Captain Minho was sentenced to life. He refused rehabilitation, refused to admit he was wrong. He would spend the rest of his life in prison. A relic of a dark time. A reminder of what humanity could become if they chose fear over hope. Dr. Hyun stood trial. She wept as she testified about the weapons she created, the billions who died because of her genius. The tribunal was merciful. She had already destroyed her weapons, already committed to healing. She was sentenced to service, 25 years working to cure diseases, to save lives, to balance the scales. General Daewon accepted a life sentence. He had commanded the military, made the strategic decisions, authorized the transformation of humanity into a war machine. He did not fight the sentence. He believed it was just. He would spend his remaining years teaching history, making sure future generations understood what happened, what they lost, what they became. Lieutenant Samin was not tried. She had followed orders. She had been young, just a soldier. But she could not forgive herself. She left the military, started a sanctuary for veterans, a place where soldiers could heal, could remember how to be human, could find peace after war. Humanity began the long process of rebuilding. Not just their worlds, not just their technology, but their souls, their values, their identity. It was hard. Many struggled. Some could not adapt, could not let go of the hate, the fear, the violence, but most tried. They reached out to former enemies, offered help, offered reparations, offered apologies. Not weakness, not surrender, but acknowledgement, recognition that they had gone too far. Done too much, become too dark. The galaxy watched with suspicion. Humanity said they wanted peace. But they had said that before. And look what happened. Could they be trusted? Could monsters truly change? Ambassador Krell became a voice for reconciliation. He worked with humans and aliens both, building bridges, creating understanding. It was slow, difficult. Many on both sides did not want peace. But some did, and that was enough to start. 20 years passed. Earth was being rebuilt, slowly. The scars remained. The craters, the dead cities. But life was returning. Grass grew. Trees were planted. Water was cleaned. It would never be the same. But it could be something. A memorial was built where soul used to be, simple, elegant, sad words carved in stone. They asked for mercy. We gave vengeance. May we remember the cost of both. Commander Jiwan stood before that memorial. Her sentence was complete. She was free now, old, tired, but free. She looked at the names carved in the stone. 8 billion names. 8 billion people who died because of fear. We survived, she said quietly. We became monsters. We delivered vengeance. But we did not stay monsters. We chose to try again. To be human again. I hope that means something. I hope that matters. Lieutenant Soman visited the memorial too. She brought veterans from her sanctuary. They stood together, remembered, grieved. Some cried. Some were silent. All of them carried the weight of what they had done. What they had been. What they chose to become. The galaxy remained wary of humanity. They remembered the war, the brutality, the mercilessness, but they also saw the trials, the accountability, the attempt to change. It was not forgiveness, not yet, maybe never, but it was recognition. Humanity was trying, the question remained. Could monsters who chose to be human be trusted? Could a species that unleashed such violence ever truly find peace? The answer was unclear. Time would tell, but humanity maintained its military, kept its weapons, remembered its tactics. They were not naive. They would never be victims again. If threatened, they could and would fight back. They remembered how. They always would, but they chose not to live as warriors, not to see every species as an enemy, not to let fear rule them. It was a balance, difficult, fragile, but possible. The coalition had feared what humans might become. They attacked first, tried to prevent the nightmare. Instead, they created it. They turned peaceful explorers into vengeful monsters, proved their own prophecy true. But the story did not end there. Humanity chose to rise above the darkness, chose to acknowledge what they had done, chose to try to be better, not perfect, not innocent, but better. They asked for mercy and received genocide. They became beasts and delivered vengeance. And then they chose humanity again. That choice, that struggle, that effort, defined them more than the violence ever could. The beasts had learned to be human again. Not by forgetting the beast within, but by choosing not to let it rule. The galaxy would remember humanity's capacity for darkness, but they would also remember their capacity for change, for growth, for choosing hope over fear, for proving that even monsters could find their way back to being human.